A224 again. I used to put you in the crazy schizoid tier with 8, but not after these videos. I think if you approached 8 with an open mind, he'd be more than happy to talk to you on the phone or in voice communication. He's mentioned it to me a couple times. We haven't gone through and done it, but he's a pretty open guy, and I think he'd be willing to talk to anyone that respectfully asked him if he'd like to have a voice conversation. So you might find that he doesn't belong in the crazy schizoid tier either. I mean, he says some crazy shit, that's for sure, but like I said in previous video, if you paint with a broad enough brush, what he says starts to make sense, and what doesn't make sense, you just bend it and break it until it does make sense, and you can come away with the experience, valuing what he had to say. So whether or not it makes sense, it's a generally positive message, or at least useful in some way. Ond tells people I'm their inscrutable master. I'm not even sure where to go with that. It starts improperly and it finishes without a period. What are you getting at, dude? Zanuck, why categorize people? We are so much more complex than can be summed up by a couple words or ideas. Black and white. I said black and white. One of my favorite things about humans is that they never quit with the surprises. Characters can never fully be judged in another, and character can never be fully judged in another, and that's a beautiful aspect of being a human. We're multidimensional. I love videos like this. They open up a completely new perception of the person behind the words. Although I would not have pictured Ethan in the way portrayed here, because I tend to have a narrow idea of what someone is like if I can't understand them well enough. I'm falling asleep as I type this, but I'm glad I watched this video at this time. Your accent is soothing and your words provoke interesting thoughts. Thank you. Yeah, man. I hope someone read your message and thought, well, maybe there's some ways I could keep an open mind. It's real easy to have an idea, but to turn it into action is another thing entirely. I know that all too well. I'm a lazy person. And I hope that someone read your message and asked themselves, how am I being narrow? How am I being judgmental in ways that aren't useful to me? How am I fooling myself? What ideas am I holding as truth, and I've forgotten my reasoning behind them? I do that all the time. I have this opinion and I examine it and I think, well, how can I find validity in this? It sounds right, but how can I prove it to myself? And then I prove it. I go through a philosophical argument with myself or whatever, and I reach a point where I go, okay, this seems valid to me. And then a few years down the line or months, it becomes dogma, and I believe it automatically because I trust my opinion that I had before. But then once in a while I examine myself more critically and I think, well shit, that idea really came out of nowhere, and I can't prove its validity anymore. I need to re-examine it again or just let it go. True or false? Is it useful to me? Is it even worth my time thinking it? I mean, there's a lot of true things that aren't worth thinking about. A224, I need to stop. Oh yeah, man, put it out there. Tell us how you feel. Zoc Jr., I still hate you and hope you die. Why? Dionysus, pfft, I only got 20 seconds of commentary. Start counting, Dionysus. I was hoping for an extended ranting diatribe about either how much I suck or how fucking awesome I am. Well, you suck. I'd never imagine you to be so egotistical. You suck because sometimes you get lazy and you post confusing things, and you probably give yourself some kind of a lazy justification as to how it's worth putting out there. Or maybe you'll say, I'm done asking myself if I should post this or not. I'm gonna hit send and see what happens. That's what I do anyway. And so you suck. You're also fucking awesome. I love you. You come up with all these interesting ideas, and they're new. They're fresh because they're not so much the repeated garbage that I hear and that I post, it's like, even though you have convictions and you have ideas that you're firm in, whenever you talk about them, you uphold them in a new way, or you examine them in a different way, and you keep it fresh. I know that's important to you, keeping things fresh, and you know, you talk about amputations, and you talk about dicks, and you talk about you know, various bodily orifices, and somehow you relate that to attitudes. And you know, obviously you've got some inspiration from Leary, you know, with the what is it called? The 8 circuit theory? Is that what he calls it? The 8 circuit theory? I do too, as you know. You might enjoy Timothy Leary's Game of Life. It's one of his lesser examined books. A lot of people don't ever... I mean, just going on like Amazon.com and seeing what's recommended, or you know, what's popular by Timothy Leary, the Game of Life doesn't come up often. And I actually bought a copy. I have a physical copy of the Game of Life, because books is just, for me, books are just so much easier to get into and stick with when you have them in your hand and not in your computer screen. But you can find it online, and if you'd like, I could upload it. I could send it to you. So just give me a shout out or whatever, and I'll send you a copy of Timothy Leary's Game of Life. It relates the Tarot to, and I know you're not big on the Tarot anymore, but it relates the Tarot to a bunch of fresh ideas. The evolution of human history, the stages of life of an individual human, the periodic table, all sorts of real quirky shit. You know, he's connecting some ideas that are spaced pretty far apart as far as conventional thinking goes, and I think you'd really enjoy it. I mean, I look at it, it's one of those books that are inexhaustible to me. I can flip open a page when I'm on the shitter and just read a page, and it'll spark new ideas and, you know, make me wonder about things in a different way, and it's, you know, it's good stuff. A224. Ingarad. The Pat Man. LOL confirms that the original poster is awesome. Well, cool, man. Far out. Care to share more? Little Miss Sunshine. Ha! That was awesome. Does anyone else think that Ethan sounds and looks like Nicolas Cage? Well, I appreciate that. I like Nicolas Cage. And when I say that, I hesitate a bit, because anyone that's interested in magic, I gotta look at him with an eerie eye. Like, this guy's kind of weird. You'll notice a lot of occult... Well, the more you study occult symbolism, the more you'll find occult symbolism in his movies, and he seems to have a hang-up on magic. He actually used to live in the most haunted house in America, a house in New Orleans, where this couple tortured people and mutilated people, and they actually attempted to make a human centipede, and that's where the inspiration for the movie comes from, is the horrible mutilations they actually did to people. And I'm not sure what the number is, but I'm pretty sure it's like at least 20 people. Like, they nailed one person to a wall, and they took another guy and they cut his arms and legs off, and then they cut strips out of his skin to look like the rings on the surface of a worm. They let him wallow around in his shit. People say that my brother looks like Nicolas Cage. So to hear that I kind of remind people of Nicolas Cage, well, I like that. I like Nicolas Cage, so thank you. Trusted Dr. Watson. Content on my Zocklet? Sure is. I would love for you to post a video commentary, regardless of what it is or how you feel about me, and I would very much enjoy talking with any of you guys in an exchange of videos. I think that would be cool. And Watson again. Oh my God, you sound like fucking Owen Wilson. Seriously, if I'm not watching the video, I think it's Owen Wilson talking. I'm trying to think of an Owen Wilson quote. You know, unlike most people, I enjoy Zoolander. I mean, it was kind of grating, but it was, I don't know. It's kind of like Kung Pao, Enter the Fist, or so many other terrible comedy movies. You gotta dumb yourself down to enjoy them. I like Owen Wilson. I liked him in The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. That was great. He's probably the sanest person in the movie. Calm down, faggot, says Keith Lemon. Keith Lemon, You suck, dude. Bitch tits. Watch less than a minute. Some gay in his garage rambling about some shit. You got that right. Are you like Charlie Sheen's long-lost brother by any chance? You're like a much cooler, more mellow version. Cool vids, dude. Thank you. I wish I had access to Charlie Sheen's drugs, because then or his house. If I could live in Charlie Sheen's house, my problems would be over. Trusted Dr. Watson. Nah. I'm sorry. Why would I do that to you guys? You sat through that. I probably just killed it for you. More discs. Put dicks in. Can't do it. Would you like to be on the internet?
No way.
She doesn't want to be on the internet. Not interested in putting dicks in, because then YouTube will violate my account or something like that. But if you want, I can send you my dick. Or a copy of it. Just send me a clay mold and I'll make a copy for you. But you gotta pay shipping. I know how much you want my dick. Page 2. We are entering page 2 of this thread. I think this is the longest video so far. And A24-224 once again posted almost nothing. What? I'm not sure how to respond to that, because I don't even understand what is going on in your head. I really don't. I wish you would be real with us, man. Let us know what's up. Alright. I don't have any topic to talk about, so I guess this is the video. Holy fuck, 23 minutes. Okay. More later. Thanks for listening. And, I want to go out with a bang for you guys. Okay, here's a joke. What's the difference between a drug dealer and a hooker? A hooker can clean her crack and sell it again. Good night.